It's Monday, April 22nd. Happy Earth Day. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. We're bringing you all the news, announcements, and events, along with a couple of special guests. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean of HCC's English and Communications, with Dr. Nicholas Cox, our History Department Chair. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning. How are you? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was fantastic. I went to Dallas for a volleyball tournament, so it was really fun. How about yours?
I had a good time as well. I spent half a Saturday trying to track down some exclusive records on Record Store Day, and then I spent the afternoon with my son at a symphony UIL performance out in Fulshire.
Oh, that's amazing. No Earth Day events yet.
Well, I guess it's today, right? It's not too late.
It's today. It's today, right? Not too late to get out there and do some participate in some Earth Day activities. So we are live on HCCTV whenever HCC is in session. But how can people find us?
That's right, Dr. Tan. We are live on the Houston Community College District's Facebook page and on YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
And today we're doing a deep dive of some critical thinking for students by going straight to the source. We'll be talking to one of our own professors, a philosophy professor at HCC Northwest, Daniel Flores. Welcome to the show, Daniel. Oh, you're muted. I do that all the time.
There we go. Is that better?
That is better. Excellent. We can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm super excited to hear about all the things you're going to share with us. So if you just hang on for 1 minute, Dr. Cox will be interviewing you and we'll be right with you.
Excellent.
But first, for Mental Health Monday, we're spotlighting an organization that provides indispensable support for at-risk and CPS-involved children. We're joined by Rebecca Moran. I had it right before. She is the outreach coordinator for BEAR, an acronym that stands for Be a Resource, and our Mental Health Monday guest. Welcome to the show, Rebecca.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
We're so glad to hear all of the things you're going to share with us. Let's begin with the description of BEAR.
Yes. So BEAR, just like you said, it stands for Be a Resource. And what we do is we are a local nonprofit that provides emergency resources year-round to at-risk and CPS-involved children. So kiddos under the care of Child Protective Service here in the greater Houston area.
And so BEAR provides basic needs to children who are recently uprooted. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. So many times when a child is removed under an emergency circumstance, no one's really thinking about, let's go back in and get some clothing, or let's go back in and grab that car seat. So that's where BEAR comes in. We provide all the necessities that children need to survive and thrive. We do this through our 4 core programs. Our first program, our largest program that's year-round, is called BEAR Necessities. And it's all about providing the necessities like clothing, shoes, diapers, formula, a little bit of everything so that a child can really survive and be successful like any other child.
Yeah, whenever I am watching programming or listening to our students or children talk about their experience, you have that image of the garbage bag, right? They have the one big garbage bag that they have all of their personal items in. And, it just breaks your heart that this is their experience, this is their reality, and it doesn't happen just one time. It can happen over and over again. And so BEAR is really working to make them feel more like that they have things that are their own and that they have a place. And you do that through, I know you have the BEAR Necessities, but you have some other programs that sort of help to make them feel loved and wanted.
Exactly. So BEAR Necessities, that one was the first program how BEAR started over 26 years ago. And we serve 30,000 kiddos in that program alone. But just like you mentioned, we do have our BEAR Back to School program, which is ensuring that all kids are ready to start the school year off on the right foot, ensuring they have school supplies, backpacks from pre-K all the way to our seniors in high school, as well as holiday gifts during the holiday season. Our program's called Bearing Gifts. And that one's all about providing holiday cheer for children who may otherwise not experience the joy of the holiday season. This past year, we served over 26,000 kids in the holiday program. And our back to school program served over 13,000. And we'll actually be kicking that program off pretty soon come June and July. And so we anticipate that number being, if not the same, probably more, unfortunately. So the community is a big help in helping us ensure we have everything we need for the kids.
And it's so important that they have that chance to start as at a level playing field as possible. I know it's not entirely level, but anything we can do. Tell us more about the Heart Gallery. Can you give us some more details about that?
Yes. So the Heart Gallery of Greater Houston is our newest program. That program is all about finding forever families for children who are currently in the foster care system and who are up for adoption. And the program focuses on keeping siblings together, giving our older kiddos a chance, as well as providing hope for children who have special needs. This program really, what is so important about it is that when a child has to have their photo taken, but in the state of Texas, by law, once a year, you know, the caseworkers probably has 20, 30 kids on their caseload. That photo's probably going to be, all right, Johnny, let's take this quick photo. It's probably on a cell phone, probably behind a gray wall in a CPS building. That kid knows what it's for, right? Another year, I'm not getting adopted. And so that photo can turn more like a mugshot. It can turn like a sad face or a frown. And so Heart Gallery really focuses on capturing each child in a different light. They might be holding a football, they might be at the playground, and we have volunteer professional photographers who donate their time and their talent to take these beautiful photographs. And then we go out in the community to raise awareness, to let people know that there are some great kids here in our community who are looking for a forever family before they age out of the system.
I'm just reading these statistics. Over 30,000 children under the care of CPS, more than 6,000 eligible for adoption. Many of these children, particularly those of color, older youth, sibling groups, and those with special needs, face steeper odds. And so how does this program support their needs?
Yes. So we've seen since this program has kicked off from a 1% chance of adoption to a 60% chance. And since our program specifically kicked off here in the Greater Houston area, we've seen over 70 children adopted, which is amazing because the statistics after when a child does not find that loving family, the chances of incarceration, drug abuse, pregnant before the age of 21, or homelessness really increases if they're not adopted before they age out of the system. Because truly, we never outgrow the need for parents. You know, at 18, it's scary enough to be out on your own, especially if some go to college or even if they go look for a job. And so to have that stable, loving home before is what our goal is. But we get it. Not everyone can foster, not everyone can adopt, but we can all do something. So whether you get involved and donate clothing or you donate school supplies, or maybe you want to host the exhibit of the photographs of the children, you can host 3 photographs or you can host 30 photographs. We make it easy. We go to different venues to help set up, and just so it can be a conversation starter. So it can really put a face to people, the donations that they're giving to the children.
So when you say host an exhibit, you mean like at your place of business or in a lobby?
Correct. Correct. We always say no venue is too small or too big. We've been in libraries, we've been in YMCAs, we've been in restaurants, boutiques, we've been at Astros games. Truly, every little bit does help. And whether it's you want to host for a day or a whole month, or maybe you want to host for the whole year, we make it happen. And we really do appreciate everyone who steps up to raise awareness for the kiddos.
Well, and I want to mention that you're in 13 counties. So if anybody's in Harris, Fort Bend, Galveston, Brazoria, Matagorda, Wharton, Colorado, Austin, Waller, Montgomery, Walker, Liberty, and Chambers, like reach out.
Yes.
And before I let you go, we want to tell everybody it's not all serious. Sometimes that you get to have fun for a good cause. So tell us about your upcoming event.
Yes. So we have our upcoming cornhole and crawfish event coming up on May 5th. Our young professionals of BEAR are actually hosting it at Memorial Trail Ice House. It's going to be a fun time, whether you just come and hang out, enjoy the great weather, or whether you love to play cornhole and you want to join a team. There's tons of ways to get involved, and all the funds will come back to really help our programs continue to succeed.
So this is really about raising funds. And there'll be other opportunities to like donate items and things like that.
Correct. Yes. And you can even learn about our young professionals group, different ways to get involved with us year round. It's going to be a great time.
Well, I hope you have a great turnout for that. And I want to thank you for coming and speaking with us today.
Thank you so much.
So take care. Thank you, Rebecca Moran, Outreach Coordinator for BEAR, which stands for BA Resource, and our Mental Health Monday guest. We'll have all of your information in our post after the show.
Wonderful. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Moving on to Nick now.
Thank you, Dean Tana. And well, we're going to talk now to Dr. Daniel Flores, philosophy professor at HCC Northwest, and the former director of the Northwest College Honors Program. Welcome back to the show, Dan. When people think about philosophy, they think about Socrates and Plato, which is serious. But maybe students don't quite understand that studying philosophy or serious ideas is a path to a well-paid career. Do you get that a lot?
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, it's a sad fact of being in this discipline. People do not tend to associate it with being well paid. And that's not actually true. So yeah, it does happen quite a bit.
I certainly remember when I told people I wanted to study history and English, people asked me, well, what do you do for a job? Right?
Yeah.
This sort of notion constantly coming up with the humanities.
Yeah. So, like I said, it is unfortunate. And the fact is if you look at the pay scales for people who get degrees in philosophy, undergraduate degrees, we fall within the top 1/3 on that pay scale. If you go to payscale.com, in fact, we rank number 275 out of 799 jobs. And so, there's a early career salary estimated about 60,500, with mid-career coming in at about 105.5. Money's not everything, obviously, but if you're thinking just about a salary, then that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that message to students and their families out there, that studying the humanities can be a lifelong joy and a good career. We need to spread that word.
Absolutely. And I think you raise an excellent point. Like I said, money's, not everything. Obviously, it's important. But when you talk about this sort of lifelong endeavor, you want a salary, but you also want an intellectual life. You want a rich emotional life and so on, just as part of being, human. And so I think philosophy in this, respect, when you balance salary with sort of that intellectual, emotional life of humans, then you get a really, really well balanced discipline.
Well, I'd like to ask you about a range of opportunities at HCC where students can get more involved with the philosophy program. I understand that our students might not realize that they can take a philosophy credit towards their math core requirement. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so our Introduction to Symbolic Logic, Philosophy 2303, does actually fulfill a math credit. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. I think maybe people don't understand what symbolic logic is, which, fair enough. But then the connection between logic and mathematics. So there's a historical connection. There's a rich history dating back at least about 120 years to try to prove that mathematics is actually reducible to logic. If you look at the way mathematics and logic work, there's strong similarities. But I think something relevant for our students is, given that connection, when you study logic, symbolic logic in particular, you have a deeper understanding of how sort of these logical mechanisms work and how it translates into from a natural language, the way we normally speak, into a symbolic language. And that transfers directly over to the symbolic language of mathematics. And when you realize that logic is just the manipulation of symbols with some rules, then oftentimes our students lose their fear of studying math. And not only that, but it gives you a better, sorry, my phone somehow is going off.
Well, that's all right.
And
let me pause you. Let me pause you there
yeah,
about the math credit and ask you
yeah.
a couple of other questions about the program because I understand that students can also get active in the philosophy club. Can you tell us a little bit about the philosophy club?
Yeah, the philosophy club's been around for a while now, and there's two iterations of it. There's the Central Philosophy Club and there's the Northwest Philosophy Club. Uh, just because of what I've been doing recently, I haven't been able to be as involved in the Northwest. But for Central, as a matter of fact, this week, this Friday, there's a couple of events at the Central Campus in the Harmon Building, room 100. There's a meet and greet, so students can come meet other philosophy club students. They can talk to some of the philosophy professors. We have a meeting there on Friday, so we should all probably be there. And then a little bit after that, about 1:30, there is a movie night. I think they're going to be watching Inception, I believe. And yeah, so it's real fun. The people who attend it, the students, it's run essentially by them, and so they're very motivated. It's a very nice thing for students to do.
All right. Well, I understand that one of the big topics that's kind of bouncing around all of our disciplines is AI. What does the future look like for the philosophy department in regard to AI? I understand you guys are innovating a bit.
Yeah. So it stems in large part from some stuff I'm doing, which I won't get into here, but I started with a colleague of mine the process of working on a certificate to provide to students in the philosophy of artificial intelligence. And what it is it's going to consist of the introduction to philosophy, introduction to ethics, the symbolic logic course, and humanities 1301, introduction to humanities. And all those courses are going to focus on some technical aspect of artificial intelligence, as opposed to just the normal way that we might run those classes. Is the Philosophy 1301 and Philosophy 2306, the symbolic logic and introduction course, we're actually going to be offering those courses starting this fall. We don't have the certificate yet, but we're going to be offering those courses. And then I will teach the ethics course and the humanities course in the spring of 2005. So even though we don't have the certificate just yet, anyone interested in the connection between philosophy and artificial intelligence can already start taking those classes beginning in the fall.
No, that's great. So students could potentially take philosophy for their math credit. They might contemplate a certificate in the philosophy of AI. There is a philosophy club for students that may or may not even be philosophy majors. But if I gave you 1 or 2 minutes left here to pitch why students should be philosophy majors, aside from that pay scale we mentioned at the top of the interview, what else? What else would be a good reason to major in philosophy?
Oh, I wish there were more time.
There's
So
not.
I know. So yeah, I guess maybe 2 points. One is, frankly, with all of our emphasis on degrees for jobs and so on, I think we failed to sort of realize some of the characteristics of human beings, our character, who we are and our relationship to society, citizenship, democracy, like I said, our sort of deeper emotional selves. And I think philosophy really gets you in contact with that. And on the flip side of that, on the other side of the coin, the fact is it makes you smarter. Studying philosophy makes you smarter in ways that it's sort of hard to comprehend. When you study philosophy, you study a lot of different disciplines. You have your expertise in something, but then you study all sorts of other things. We tend to score consistently the highest on the major exams, including the GRE, the LCAT, the MCAT, believe it or not. Philosophy majors consistently score the highest in those. There's some nuance, but we don't have time to get into that. So,
No, I appreciate that. I definitely think that all of our students in the humanities and philosophy specifically ought to recognize that it can sort of train you to live a ethical life, a life of a community member, a citizen with critical thinking capacities. And if it increases your score on graduate applications for grad school, then even better, even better.
If you want a better chance of getting in at grad school, you should probably study philosophy, to be honest.
All right. Well, I hope that we can take a little bit more time and spend more focused time on some of these things that the philosophy is doing around the college. But I just want to thank you again for stopping by and talking with us today, Dan. Have a great week. And I hope that event on Friday is well attended. We will have information about that in our notes after the show.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, back to you, Amy.
Now I need to unmute. Thanks so much, Nick. Thank you, Dan. I just want to give a quick trigger warning here before we jump into our news, events, and announcements. If you are, if rape or sexual assault is a trigger for you, I want to make sure you have a chance to log off right now before we make this announcement. So Wednesday is Denim Day, Stand Up Against Victim Blaming. And this goes back to something that happened in Italy in 1992. An 18-year-old girl was raped by her 45-year-old driving instructor. He took her to an isolated road, pulled her out of the car, removed her jeans, and forcefully raped her. Though he was convicted and sentenced to jail, the Italian Supreme Court overturned the conviction, stating that since the victim was wearing tight jeans, she must have helped him remove them. Therefore, it was consensual sex. This became known as the jeans alibi. Enraged, the women in the Italian parliament launched a protest wearing jeans on the steps of the Supreme Court. This protest was picked up by international media, with the California Senate doing the same on the steps of the Capitol, and the organization Peace Over Violence asking women everywhere to wear jeans to protest all the myths about why women are raped. Denim Day was born in 1992 and has continued annually since. We are encouraging everyone at HCC to wear jeans or denim this Wednesday, April 24th. For more information, check our post after the show. We also do have some Earth Day events coming up, Nick.
That's right. HCC Central's Library Student Library Advisory Council is celebrating Earth Day with a special Sew and Grow event on campus. It will include guest speakers, a poster showcase from the Vast Academy student winners, and more. That's today, Monday, April 22nd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's happening now. You can go to HCC Central Room 100 and 101. For more information, check our post after the show.
I'm going to have to pop down there in a minute since I am coming to you live from Central. For everyone out there getting ready to graduate, don't miss today's deadline. If you're graduating in May, make sure you register. That is today, Monday, April 22nd. For more information, check our post after the show. Did I mention the deadline is today? Don't miss it.
Well, we have another event. Today is the last day. The drama production of Pirates of the Comedia ends tonight. You can come see a romp through the early New Orleans history with Mardi Gras comedy and adventure on the high seas. Again, that's tonight, Monday, April 22nd, 7:30 p.m. at the Southwest College Stafford Campus Fine Arts Center. For more times and information, check our post after the show.
Sounds like so much fun. We also have some talent engagement road shows. They have been happening throughout the spring of 2024, and the last one is coming up. HCC's Talent Engagement is hosting its final roadshow of the spring with Medicare preparation, followed by the ABCs of compensation and market study info. Attendees will receive treats and giveaways. That is going to be Thursday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at HCC Eastside Campus in the Learning Hub. To register, check the post after the show for more information.
And as always, Dean Tan, we just want to remind everybody out there, registration is open. You can register right now for the summer courses and the fall. HCC offers classes in person. We offer classes online anytime. We offer classes online with a virtual meeting schedule. We also have hybrid classes and hybrid labs. So please learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover your costs at hccs.edu/apply.
Thanks so much, Nick. It was great seeing you today.
Thank you.
And coming up, we'll commemorate April as the month of the military child with VMAS, HCC's Veteran and Military Affiliated Student Success. And later, we'll welcome the return of Small Business Wednesday, as well as Thursday, Family Fun Day. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.